Hi again, friends. Let's talk about the strategy execution problem and the solution to that problem in sort of high-level terms. And in doing this, I'm really stating the objectives for this course. What do we want to accomplish by going through this course? And what do I hope that you will do as a result? Now, the big objective of this course is I want you to have a process for executing your strategy. A process that creates the capabilities and the culture that will result in successful strategy implementation. That is the big objective of the course. But let's break that down a little bit more and understand more specifically what we hope to accomplish. And let's understand the problem. Like, why do CEOs struggle? You can see from the quote that CEOs recognize the problem. They know, they've said it's priority number one and priority number two is successfully executing strategy. So you'd think they would probably get good at it, right? Well, the reality is most companies are not good at it. And I want to explore why, and I want to lay out a framework for how we're going to get there. In the next lecture, we're going to start to look at the organization as a system, and the capabilities, processes, culture all reside within the system. So we have to really understand that system and have a systematic way of looking at the system and designing the system. That's what we're going to do during this course. So employees, from this quote from the Harvard Business Review, you can see employees also recognize that their organization is not good at executing strategy. And that's kind of demotivating. You want your organization to set strategy that's realistic, and feel like you're competent, feel like you're succeeding at executing that strategy. So what is the problem? Why is there this problem? And here are a few of the reasons why there's this problem. First of all, part of the problem comes in how you create strategy and who creates strategy. In most organizations, maybe not yours, but in the majority of organizations, there's a relatively small group of people engaged in the process of strategy creation. And it is generally the most senior managers and some senior staff people, and perhaps external consultants who develop the strategy. And in their minds, it makes perfect sense. But what they often have not done is they have not understood their own culture and their own capabilities and built tomorrow's strategy on those capabilities and on the culture and with an understanding of how those things have to develop, how they have to change in order to achieve the strategy. So right away, they create a disconnect. And because other people are not engaged, other people are not committed to it. Now, there's a fundamental principle of engagement that's really important, and it's what I like to call the Habitat for Humanity principle. Habitat for Humanity learned a long time ago that if you build a house and you give the disadvantaged poor person the house, there's a good chance that they will not maintain that house well. But if you engage them in the building process, the family who's going to move into the house helps hammer nails, they help paint, they help do the landscaping, they help with the actual work of building the house. Guess what happens? Not only do they maintain the house better, they have a transformative effect on the community around them because they have pride in their house. They want other people's houses to look good. Well, this is sort of the miracle of engagement. The same thing is true in developing strategy. The more people you engage in thinking about what that strategy could be, and how we're going to get there, the more likely you are to get there. It's sort of a simple thing. But too often, strategy is sort of held close and owned by a small group of people. The problem is executives believe it's their job to set targets for those below. Now, there's certainly a truth in that. It is true that executives have a responsibility to make stuff happen, to say we need to increase revenue, we need to reduce costs, we need to change our market share, whatever it is. But if somebody above sets a target for you, there's a problem right there. And the problem right there is you don't feel the same commitment as if you had set the target. So even if they haven't decided where we're going to go and why we're going to go there, the targets for getting there need to be targets that come through engagement, or what in Toyota Production System they call catchball. Catchball where kids playing baseball, throw the ball back and forth, back and forth. And that's an interactive planning process. When we talk about the transformation process, we're going to talk about an interactive planning process that gets folks engaged in creating the targets and creating the design that's going to implement the strategy. Absolutely critical. So what's the solution? And the solution is our objectives for the course. First of all, you must know the facts about your culture. You must be grounded in reality. If I said to you, my goal in the next years is I want to sing opera. I want to perform the Metropolitan Opera. Or I want to play in the NBA. I want to be a professional basketball player. You would immediately tell me I was crazy, because you wouldn't have to know me very much to know that both of those things and a lot of other things are absolutely impossible. This system that you're looking at right now is not capable of playing in the NBA or singing opera or doing a lot of other things. If you don't know yourself, if you don't know the system of your organization and how it functions and what it's capable of, your strategy is going to be disconnected from reality. And too many executives, in fact, are disconnected from reality. So we have to get connected. We have to do a good job of assessing current culture and capabilities and then build upon those, right? Every organizational system is a whole system. And I'm going to use that phrase a lot as we go through this course. Whole system. What does it mean? It means, like in the human body, there's a cardiovascular system, there's a digestive system, there's a respiratory system, there's a central nervous system. We have a bunch of systems. Those systems, none of them function independently. They all are interactive. They all support each other. If one is sick, the other tends to get sick, right? So we have this interactive system in the human body. Your organization is exactly the same. And we have to understand how those systems interact so that when we plan our change, our movement towards our strategy, we are changing the whole system in an interdependent whole way. Does that make sense? I hope so. We have to deliberately design the capabilities. Too often, the senior team says, go forth and achieve the strategy. But they don't design it, and they don't assign anybody to actually design what skills we need, what technical competencies, what machinery do we need, what kind of engineers do we need, what are all the capabilities that we need, and do we have the culture that will produce the continuous improvement that will make us competitive on an ongoing basis. That all has to be deliberately designed, and we're going to do that. That's an objective of this course. And engaging everybody. We have to engage a maximum number of people in the execution of the strategy, which means the design and the implementation of that design. If we do that, we will succeed. So those are the objectives of the course, and that's the big picture in terms of the problem and the solution. Now let's take a look at the system of the organization and begin to understand that and where the capabilities reside and what we have to address. We have to analyze and then design.